for this conversation. We're going to be joined by the DG, Kura, that is Engineer Silas Kinoti, to just bring us up to speed. One of the models that was adopted by the government to improve on infrastructure is the Road Annuity Program, model in 2014. Has it been effective? What were the lessons learned, and what is the way forward? Thank you very much, Engineer, for your time. Just come closer here. You just made that presentation on the Road Annuity Program. Just bring us up to speed. Its effectiveness in terms of infrastructure and what you think needs to be done to make it more, to meet its objective.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. As I said, the Road Annuity Program we started implementing from 2014. What we wanted to do is tap in private sector financing for us to improve the network we have in our roads. But it took a bit of time because from my presentation we see that from 2014, it is only around February of 2022 that we are able to start actual construction of the road on the ground, taking us more than 8 years just to negotiate for the financing. In terms of effectiveness, we have the roads. They have already been constructed, they are being used, and people are really enjoying, and they are now introducing economic activities in all those areas. But in terms of the value for money, in terms of weighting, we need to understand the model more. We need all the stakeholders to come on board, the financiers, the government, so that they can understand the model more and reduce the number of risks so that the cost of financing can also reduce. Thank you.
Now, let's give us a clarity. Where do we stand then when it comes to the Road Annuity Fund? Is it on? Is it stalled? What is going on there?
The Road Annuity Fund, the government has gone slow on the Road Annuity Fund because the perception that it's an expensive way of constructing roads. But with more capacity building of our sector and the financing sector, the treasury, we are able, I'm sure in future, we will be able to come up with a modality of financing where you will get value for money. So it's on hold at the moment because that perception is expensive. But if you look at the cost of money in the long run, it may not be that expensive. But we need to really put it for us to understand it more and bring more stakeholders on board, blend the financing models in terms of government financing, private sector financing. Where do we come on board so that you can reduce the time we need to achieve that project and also reduce the cost of the financing.
Now, since you've mentioned about blended financing, this is also something, a recommendation that has come from the floor of the House, maybe to look at more public-private partnerships, not the direction of, the spirit of the annuity program, but now to just move like what we're having with the affordable housing. Do you think this is something that we can actually consider for the roads that Kura takes care of?
Yeah, I think what I mean by blended financing, you can look at cheaper ways of financing. In Kenya, we have like the pension schemes, which are cheaper ways of financing. We have NSSF, we have all that. We can look at, instead of going to commercial lending, you can look at institutions which have their money which you can leverage on to reduce that cost of financing. It is a model which has worked everywhere, it has worked anywhere, in other areas. The challenge you're having is that we are leveraging on a very high cost of finance. That is the commercial banks. We need to see alternative ways of bringing in private sector money on board. As
we come to a close of this particular brief, today's agenda is around focusing on infrastructure to catalyze industrialization. Your take on this and how we can effectively achieve this from where you sit?
Industries, when you put up industries, they have to be accessed through. Roads are an enabler towards industrialization, whether you are doing it in agricultural industrialization, whether you are doing special economic zones. We need infrastructure, roads to access those industries so that people can be able to know the cost of doing business can be reduced. I can give an example of the Kenya Leather Park, which is being constructed at Kenania in Machakos. The road, we are working on the road. People are going there and saying, please, we want to invest in this park, but the road is not good. So we as Kura, with the support of the government, we are trying as much as possible to make the road good so that the industries can start operating at the Kenani Leather Park. Thank you.